Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Out to kick is Janikowski. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And all the way down to the 37. A big play there for L.A. And even 40 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Throwing on third, gone. And that is incomplete.
But he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. All things considered, a pretty good kick. Just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck. And unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Rashad Penny. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. He'll drop to throw. Leaves it for Penny. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though.
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off. I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion.
And this is caught inside the 5. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. second. His second touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment where the guy's covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by him. And once he's by him, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
Janikowski good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out to kick is Janikowski. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A play fake to Gurley. Now gone. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Dumps that off to Penny as running back. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down. Spinning away. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down. They're going to look to throw. And he hits on the slant route to Marshall. His first catch there. Good for 10 yards and a 1st down. They'll look to throw here. Rolling to his right. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Their mobile, agile quarterback on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Out out to kick is Janikowski. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. 11 more on that one, and another first down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On 1st and 10, Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. And Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And now the Rams are going to halt things as they want a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Sebastian Janikowski to try the Seahawks field goal from the right hash. This from 45 yards away. And Janikowski bangs it through, and that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, You may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Gone. They'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll start by zooming out to Santa Clara. Arizona in town to face San Francisco, and that game tied at 7 in the second quarter. From there, let's hop over to New England. Check out the Patriots at home in Foxborough. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Tom Brady, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Finally, let's get over to Carson. See what's happening with the Chargers at home at the StubHub Center. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Raiders. Phillip Rivers has thrown a touchdown there. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This will be fielded at the 8. Oh, good move. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. The first update from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, and the early lead there belonging to the Cardinals. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. Second half begins with a run from Penny. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that's complete to the right side. It's Marshall. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A very solid gain of 27.
I'm sorry, but it's almost unfair. I mean, Brandon Marshall can make so many plays, but even when you think he's covered,
he's not.
No, he's really not. He uncovers and makes a play on you and picks up good yardage in doing so.
And his throw is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up a third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Here we go now. Blue line it. Blue line it.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flush to his right. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. It's their quarterback. A 6-yard touchdown run. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on. And he keeps carrying the ball into the end zone. And in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns has got him in the lead. I was just about to say he hadn't missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. Out to kick is Janikowski. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams sprint to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says, try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
And this is going to be incomplete. That was solid coverage there from Dante Johnson. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here's Johnny Hacker now. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now it's Lockett. He juked him. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
Now let's go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And he's across the 43. extra yards to the 43. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that's incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Now back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Cut! 180!
Time to establish the run game here. Gurley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. To throw on 2nd down is gone. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
The Rams on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. On the draw, Goff gives to Gurley. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
It's not something that we see every game now. Todd Gurley held below 50 yards, and we are in the 4th quarter. Got to give a lot of credit. They've done a nice job of bottling him up.
They absolutely have. And a lot of times he can still find holes, but there haven't been the holes there. The offensive line hasn't created much space. They'll start by running the option to the right. Able to avoid him at the 40. Touchdown, Seattle. How about that? Their quarterback, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Janikowski now for the point after. Janikowski good with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. 1-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Out to kick is Janikowski. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And right now, these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd down, here's Goff. He'll throw underneath for Early, and he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down. The Rams on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, here's Goff. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Barkevious Mingo in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. The tackle there by Mark Barron.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper.
That's caught inside the 20. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Did you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Out to kick is Janikowski. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Let's just be frank. They're playing for Pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch in the game. Big reason why they're down. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
Still first down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. A shotgun snap for Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball. Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Barkevius Mingo in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons. I think the defense has to feel really good about what's going on here. They've hit him, harassed him, sacked him a bunch of times, and now he's starting to get a little jittery in the pocket. Feet are starting to move around a little bit. Sometimes they start to feel ghosts. People aren't even there.
So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for the Seahawks, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. They will hit the road next week for a date with the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Money back. Money back. Money back. I got money back. Money back. God, I do your bed like a Monday, go Robbie Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, bet it's he said it's a them pretty. You look like Beyonce. talking sideways. He said you look like this. He made sure he put Cardi down on his list. Now why this? Gonna look at my snap. I take your man and I won't give him back. I just walk into the booth and attack. I hit this button, the roof will collapse. I've been broke my whole life. I have no clue what to do with these racks. They be late.
You have an injury from the last game. See how long they'll be out.
Lips like Angelina, belly truck tangerine, jumping on my, that's why they call it trampoline. Hey, back on Monday, throw rock Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, babe, it's a, he said it's a, them pretty, you look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front, I got it behind me, and I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway, looking like money back, 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 woo, money back, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids, and they all gangsta, don't be talking sideways. Salty, they sodium, they jelly, petroleum, always talking in the background, don't never come to the podium. Chef Cardi B, I'm up, I see you like the again. Why you was sleeping on me? I make 40 bands by 4 p.m. They be taking everything you want. I'm like a walking. I don't understand what this hate is about. How you go, your man, with my name in your mouth. I do the Maybach on Monday, throw rock Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, babe, it's a, he said it's a, them pretty, you look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front, I got it behind me, and I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway, looking like money back, 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 woo, money back, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids, and they all gangsta, don't be talking sideways, sideways, sideways.
Two West Coast teams in the Eastern Hemisphere. It's the coach. This is week 6 of the NFL on EA Sports. The Seahawks had to travel 4,781 miles for their road game, but the Raiders flew 5,345 miles for their home game. It's Seattle and Oakland from London, England. I'll be back with you at halftime, but first, it's off to London as we say good day to our announcers, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up with the Seattle Seahawks. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And how about that defense last week? They pitched a shutout, and it's really more like a no-hitter because they absolutely dominated that game from the opening whistle.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost. How does he eliminate that 1 interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
On the carry, here's Marshawn Lynch. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 12 yards that time at an Oakland first down.
No surprise watching Marshawn Lynch scatter bodies as he runs, but I remember doing games of his at Cal, and I remember the moves, the jump cuts, the elusiveness, as well as the strength.
They go play action here on first down. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Shamar Stephen forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. They'll run with Marshawn Lynch. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. It's a gain of 5, but they're still deep in a hole. 15 yards still to go on third down. Shotgun now for Carr. And that's caught by Smith. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So a first quarter fumble in the rain. And this isn't supposed to let up. They've had flash flood warnings just west of here. So they better get used to this.
And it's hard to do real early in the game because you're so amped up and you're trying to do so much. You've got to get used to it, though. You've got to focus in on the ball, make sure you're taking care of it. That one cost them.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. And incomplete to open things up. He was looking for his big target, Brandon Marshall. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And an alley to run. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. He hits Baldwin right side. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Leaves it for Petty. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their 1st drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field, all they're thinking is, finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down, put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry over for you.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Dumps that off to Penny as running back. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Forced out to his left. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Their mobile quarterback. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Seahawks have taken a 1st quarter lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Out to kick is Janikowski. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. that can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there, and we'll see if they can pick those things back up. Yeah, the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
Coming out of the backfield is Marshawn Lynch, and there was so much attention on him in 2017 after a year away from the NFL, and he produced with over 800 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. But I thought they started slowly with him in 2017. I think in 2018, he's going to get the ball pretty fast and pretty often.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've hit the end of quarter 1. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out. From the gun, it's Carr. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
This is taken at the 23. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And he's been busy with his feet. He's been quite the scrambling man.
And obviously that can break down a defense, but a lot of it is just that they just get trapped with worrying about it so much that other things break down as well. You know, you break the huddle, and you're not just playing what comes out at you. You're like, oh, God, don't let him outside of the pocket. Don't let him beat us with his legs. And then he starts to beat you other ways.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Blue line it.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
You don't have to be a finished product to show some pretty good glimpses of what could be in this league, and we just saw an example of it on that nice run there. When I looked at him coming out of college, I saw a guy with raw, terrific ability. I couldn't wait to see how it was going to be harnessed and polished up in the NFL. In fact, some people thought he could play a little slot receiver as well as run the football. This guy has the ability to be a big-time player with more seasoning.
It's another 10 yards on that one and another 1st down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
They'll look to throw. He'll buy some time right. Space to run past the 20. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Their mobile, agile quarterback. His 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice game.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Janikowski good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Out to kick is Janikowski. And they'll be backed up a bit to start as he's out of bounds at the 16. And now Oakland ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, Probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Back to the ground, this time Lynch. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
They run again on first down, Lynch. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you got going on. The only concern you have, to get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up fourth down. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll kick it away for the second time. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to more NFL action on EA Sports after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll punt it away for the second time. This is brought in at the 21. Whoosh. A great return there of 22 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Good starting field position for them here as they come up first and 10. They're going to look to throw. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on second down. So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. He'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Back to throw here. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
First carry for Doug Martin, the 2-time Pro Bowler in Tampa. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Now Carr throwing on second down. Incomplete. He was trying to get it to Seth Roberts, and it's 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 11. Carr gives to Marshawn. just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. All right, so the timeout over, and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he's on to punt for Oakland. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
A good pickup there at 22. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And that's complete to the right side. It's Marshall. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He lets it fly for Lockett. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett in the final seconds of the first half. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Out to kick is Janikowski. The return man here, Dwayne Harris. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll start up in the Twin Cities. Arizona in town to take on Minnesota. And a touchdown separating these two as they've gone to halftime. Kirk Cousins has thrown a touchdown pass. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they've got the lead in their matchup with the Tampa Bay Bucks. 2 touchdown passes there for the former MVP, Matt Ryan. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital. See what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton with a couple of touchdown passes there. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. This will be taken short. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now Wilson finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackle.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage. I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. You got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. If you get careless with the football, look out.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
Under the category of obvious, you hate giving up a first down on 3rd and long. And somehow he finds his way downfield and picks it up.
If you look at the coverage defensively, oh, this is great, but no one accounted for him at the quarterback spot.
At some point, you actually have to tackle him and get him on the ground short of the first down marker.
Hey, boys, got 4 down. 14.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now.
That was a dangerous throw towards the end zone. Boy, did it hang up there forever. Wanted to run up there and pull it down out of the sky.
Yeah, it felt like it really should have been intercepted. Lucky to have that one back.
You've got to be more careful when you're that close to the goal line.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense.
There he goes, Amari Cooper, the 20. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A big play there, Carr to Cooper. 64 yards. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
He did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. They'll run again with Lynch. He will push his way down to about the 14. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun, and they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Carr, and this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And Forbath will put this one through, and the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
third down. Wilson. And he's got Lockett. He was over 100 receiving last week. He's over 100 now this week as he's got a first down as well. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Escaping the pressure right. This is complete. It's Baldwin. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Throwing again here. Wilson, flush to his right. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
On first down, Wilson. Rifling one complete into the hands of Marshall. And he'll go down at the 28. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in London. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth and final quarter. Good to see this man running again. Here's Chris Carson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Sebastian Janikowski to try the Seahawks field goal. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Here's Martin as they begin on the ground. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. The Raiders on third down, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Carr going to throw. They set up the screen to Martin. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 12 yards that time at an Oakland first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. And it is incomplete. The Raiders on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Carr. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders. Carr now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Carr to throw again. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Barkevius Mingo. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game.
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Being chased out left. Skirts by him at the 35. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory.
Let's get it, let's get it.
Oh, Wilson going to throw. Flushed out right. And he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. And quickly, they get to the line. Well, throw on first down with Wilson. He's going to air this out for... There's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Here's Harris to return it. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Here's Carr. Now they go screen. It's complete. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. The Raiders on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Get down, get down.
Shotgun now for Carr. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick, and they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Wilson wants to throw it. Going for the deep ball. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. Well, so they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
14.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Wilson throwing the slant pattern here complete. And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a first down. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
Carl try it again on second down. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Brandon LaFell, his intended target, and it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Down. 180.
From the gun, it's Carr. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Here now, Johnny Townsend. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys
I'm a little
skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, you know, open air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond its years. So for the Seahawks, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for Oakland, The loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon. Go.
Cake up in the say they be waiting for you in the bushes with the duct tape up and down the interstate. Yeah, we really touch. October, I'm about to another state. He went down in Arizona, don't get me involved. An empty box in the car means they coming for all. I had six phones, I got rid of them all. We get hit and sit down, we don't talk to the law. Yeah, they think I'm tripping, they listen. They know our every move, yeah, they want us all in prison. That's why I can't sleep at night until they get in. I'm on another mission, I'm just young and I'm living. Yeah, I done seen the best of them jammed up. 25 to life and they can't stop. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phones, they can hear us. 7 in the morning and they in my home. My bank account's froze, what is going on? Why it all start going wrong? From talking on
You have a big decision to make about one of your players.
Money never sleeps when you're the Black Gordon Gecko. Line looking like they waiting on the retro. Sixes, I feel special. Resale and I never pay retail. My shoebox money afforded me the spree wells. And that then courted me a V12. Avoid the phones if it's sounding like a seashell. Too much clicking in the connection. Connect the dots with
Your player is now ready to play. There's a high chance of re-injury if you play him. It's your decision.
You know how I do. Push.
I done seen the best of them jammed up. 25 to life and they can't stop. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phones, they can hear us. 7 in the morning and they in my home. My bank account's froze, what is going on? Why it all start going wrong? From talking on the phone.
Too many handle business on my own, cause you ain't right, and that's I don't condone. I got homies behind the wall wishing they was home. They got jammed up, kept discussing business on the phone. But Scotty, boy, we 200 bands off them $20 flips. I'm going by myself when it's time to up. That way police don't have a clue when turn up. I'm dolo when I'm out making different moves. Pull up to the shop just to pick and choose. I'm that, don't get confused, cause even when the prayed I didn't lose. Machine. I done seen the best of them jammed up. 25 to life and they can't stop. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phones, they can hear us. 7 in the morning and they in my home. My bank account's froze, what is going on? Why it all start going wrong? From talking on the phones. Victory, gold on my neck, Mr. T. Victory, zombie gang rapping that NYC. Victory, ice on my neck like I'm Little Weak. We run like a Paraclete. It's on earth, but it's where I be. Money over on my headstone. Here lies young, getting paid, but never take a loss on my headstone. Only take a when I'm dead. Zombie gang 3 times on my headstone. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on a headstone. Too late, you already live. Imagine when you're 30,000 feet up, what you think of? Oh, I hated knowing that my thoughts would turn to dream. Cause I never knew I'd get my chance to link up. Oh, I tell you all of this unusual to me. Swear I came from the bottom, flappers living, walking dead on. Put your favorite rapper's name up on the headstone. Big for the cheese and you're dead wrong. Propaganda set the standards in the tear down.
Throw it back, yeah, I'm born to it's talking, it's hustling me where I'm at. I'm living how I want now. No reason to doubt, it's clear to see. All eyes on me, 400 degrees. Who am I? Ruthless, easy, does it. In public, they hated and love it. The underdogs with liquor swabs. It was written in my diary to start a war. I'm feeling infamous, immortal with my technique. A revolutionary shining with diamond teeth. Young Don Cartagena, excuse my demeanor. This the glamour life, you still not a player, you ain't half as nice. I'm born again, life after death. I made the sacrifice and super duper fly. Used to keep them hypnotized. I said my name is Juice, America's most. Ain't no half stepping, see you at the crossroads.
Money over on my hands down. Here lies young, getting paid for. Never take a loss on my hands down. Only take a when up this. I be gang 3 times on my hands down. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the hands down. Too late, you already there.
It was written in the children's story. Their life's up, so what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could jump me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on them. On earth, these the last days. Throw your get money, quiet storm. Have it stars. For the cream, renegade. For the money, you'll lick. On the late night tips. So these see the prototype. Fingertips, reservoir dog. Check the skull, ignorant. Can I live? Still film it. Kiss the death, forever take your neck. 3 boys in the Cadillac. Grave digger, kiss the death, forever take your neck. Shame on the 3 boys in the Cadillac. Grave digger.
Money over on my hands down. Here lies young, getting paid for. Never take a loss on my hands down. Only take a when up this. I be gang 3 times on my hands down. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the hands down. Too late, you already there. Right now I'm on the edge, so don't push me. Troublesome to 9 to 6. You a shook one, breathe and know the ledge. I'm your, what's that? I smell. Let me count my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, run. Hi, my name is Dirk Cobain. Like a here I go to the next episode. Ain't no damn this explosive Beast Coast. Yeah. The mother ride or die for my strictly for my survival of the fittest. That's the sign of the police. I'm in deep cover earth, skirt, lean back. Give me one more chance. They say Jesus walks and the devil wear Prada, but I'm so deaf. God can't tell me nothing. Right this on my death certificate. I gave you power. 21 questions like the warning. Watch them flashing like paparazzi. 2 words. Get money. Tonight's the night. Guess who's back on my block? Rather unique. Bucktown. This on that quiet storm, T-O-N-Y, top of New York with a pitchfork.
They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cut the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Look at them, how to make it in America. Real day one, ain't a lot of us. Mom worked 2 jobs, it was hard for us. Me and sis made it out, now she proud of us. They didn't teach me how to rap in those private schools. Wasn't like my rich friends, had a lot to lose. Less money, less options, lot of rules. So when that first deal came, it was opportune. And shorty got potential, I scout that. She say she in love, but I doubt that. Maybe it's to the clout. I get love in the north, I get love in the south, yeah. Shorty claims she a feminist, and her feminine. Girl, you know that he average. Girl, you know I'm a savage. They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cut the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Now I'm in the Benz truck with a new honey. They said I wouldn't make it, I'm like, you funny. Laughing at my